Chapter 25, Section 1, Americans at War. In September of 1940, the Selective Training and Service Act was passed, and it required all males aged 21 to 36 to register for military draft. The U.S. raises military spending from $2 billion up to more than $10 billion. GI stands for a government issue, and 16 million Americans serve. So now you know where they got the name G.I. Joe. Diversity in the armed forces. Americans from all ethnic and racial backgrounds fought during World War II. More than 300,000 Mexican Americans served in the military. 25,000 Native Americans also served, and the Navajo Indians developed a special code based on their language that the enemy could not break. The Marines recruited more than 400 Navajos to serve as radio operators. These men were known as code talkers, and they provided important, secure communications to several key battles of the war. Nearly 1 million African Americans joined the military. At first they had supporting roles, but later, when given the opportunity to fight, they fought well. The Tuskegee Airmen became the first African American flying unit in the United States military. And also, more than 350,000 women served in the military. War production. The government set up the War Production Board, the WPB, to direct the conversion of peacetime industries to industries that produce war goods. For example, Henry Ford converted his factories to make B-24 Liberator bombers. These airplanes were assembled on the car line assembly lines. Henry J. Kaiser was famous because he introduced mass production techniques to shipbuilding, cutting the time to produce a ship from 200 days to 40 days. Kaiser made Liberty ships, which are large merchant ships that carried troops, goods, and supplies across seas. In 1944, the U.S. production doubled that of all of the Axis nations combined. Wartime jobs gave many people their first spending money since the Depression. Back at home, they had to give rations. Rations limited the goods people could buy. Many items were unavailable because they were being used in wartime production. Examples of rations were metal to make typewriters and zippers were now used to make guns and ammunition. Rubber went towards tires on military vehicles, and nylon stockings were used for parachutes. So Americans couldn't buy these products very readily. Americans were given ration books. Ration books were issued and points were assigned to products such as coffee, sugar, and canned goods. Once consumers had used their points, they could not buy any more of those items until they received a new ration book or traded coupons with neighbors. Say you don't drink coffee, but your neighbor does. You could trade your ration coupons for coffee with him for something else. Gasoline was strictly rationed too, on the basis of need. Most of it was going to the military. Victory Gardens are U.S. citizens growing home vegetable gardens to add to home supplies and replace what farms had once produced. The farmers had either enlisted or the goods were sold to the military, so they did this to supplement their diets.